child never dies. I'm just out of my prime. The years fly by. I think it's about time. Cause for 18 years I've been schooling all day, learning my lessons, throwing homework away. Now for 19 years I've been making new friends. Some of them last and some of them end. We're young, we're free. Summer's be gone, so come run with me. Yeah, we're young and we're free. It's time to lay us down and go swimming in the sea. 20-something just don't feel right. How the hell can we sleep at night? It's time to kiss our childhood goodbye. We're 20-something, so enjoy the ride.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to 20-somethings. We're also in new groups. I'm here with Rob, Maddie, Aiden, and special guest Amelia. So we will be talking first about Liz Truss and what's happening over in Britain. So for those of you who don't know, Britain just had their shortest term of prime minister. 45 days ago, or Liz Truss was in office for a total of 45 days before resigning. She made a budget, immediately went back on it, and tanked the economy within 45 days. So what do you guys think of this situation?
Okay, first off, it was 44 days. Second off, she didn't even get elected in the office. The thing that mind boggles me the most was, one, she already had a negative public view. So we already knew it wasn't going to work out. Then there wasn't any formal election. So Liz Truss actually she kind of got she won a contest pretty much to win it.
She was nominated to be head of the party.
Yeah, it's kind of like Wipeout. Like she magically made it. Honestly, I didn't bet against it, but I probably should have put money on it. But honestly, it's kind of disappointing. But also, she is the last one. She's the last prime minister to be inducted when the Queen was still alive. Rest in peace. Yeah, no, it's disappointing. She's the last one to be there, and then she's just bye. So I don't know. She's kind of disappointing. I think that's my thought process on it.
I saw there were a lot of reasons as to and one thing I love how the British public, they're so vocal no matter what they say about if they like their prime minister or not. They were saying things such as they don't feel relaxed by her and not relatable. She talks like she's robotic, and she didn't really feel like she's for the people. And I also saw that she didn't appoint anyone to her I guess cabinet, if you will, if they didn't support her campaign, which obviously would limit the amount of people you could choose from. So I think she may really have been in over her head to the point where they already just elected a new prime minister. What's his name? Rishi Sunak. And they don't even like him either. And the British pound, the valuation went down. So literally, she might be one of the worst prime ministers in the shortest amount of time.
Yeah. And another thing that's really interesting is that she's still entitled to over $115,000 every year for the rest of her life, since she served just 45 days. So now there's a huge petition going on where people are saying that she shouldn't get that money, since she only served for 45 days and tanked their economy and left them in a scary place.
That is wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. She should not keep that money. I feel like if you resign, you forfeit. But I feel do you guys think that this is a statement kind of just on overall world politics? Right now, everything is kind of crazy. Obviously in the last decade, we've seen all kinds of things happen. I feel it's just we're kind of in an unprecedented time of what we even view positive politicians as, and sort of who we really do want to put in power, and if there are people that we actually believe in. I feel nowadays so many people are there is nobody I'm rooting for. So you were just saying how they don't even like the new person, but would there even be somebody that they would like?
I totally agree with what you're saying. You want to go first? All right, I'll go. Yeah, no, I totally agree, because of the last few years, I feel politics in like big countries have been more of like a reality TV show. Like people are watching just to see what happens, not really seeing someone they really support and follow. And there aren't really any good options because obviously for politics you get the good and the bad, but it seems like we've just been getting bad and bad as you've seen in like here or in England. Like it's problem after problem with different problems for different people.
I'm also saying, like, I don't think it's just, all world thing. I think it's mostly just a, UK thing because, like, they had Boris Johnson, so he's already a disappointment and already such a controversial person to talk about. And then immediately went to Liz Truss. So it's kind of like, it's a blatant flaw with their, electoral process. Like, the prime minister won by contest. Like, the public is very much saying like this should be a voted by the public type of process, and it doesn't seem like with the way like the olden times, it's like it's not working anymore, and they got to adapt to like the new age, I guess.
Okay, but
I see what you're saying about this, but I disagree with the fact that it's solely based or encompassed in the UK. I mean, if you look at the 2020 election, that was everyone like, oh, this is the lesser of two evils. Which one is? And even 2016 too, it was the same situation. Like I don't think anyone. It was either like you're voting. It wasn't pro-Trump or pro-Biden. It was I don't want Trump in office or I don't want Biden in office. That was, at least to all my people I saw voting, that's what the consensus was. So I do think that there is a discussion globally here, but yes, UK has their own problems.
UK has their own problems, but like you were just saying, like, are we in a position to throw stones when we literally had Donald Trump as the president?
Huh? No, but I mean, it's just in general politics are kind of like on. I mean, as you said before, it's on a downward spiral from the very beginning. Like every single time, like every single new politician's in the media, in the limelight, like direct spotlight. They're more of a figurehead than anything, honestly. Like, yes, they carry their political views and everything like that. They carry what their party represents enough to the point where they just have to be the figurehead, the puppet for the party, and it's becoming so much they have to be that to get elected. And
yes and no, though, because like if you look at Donald Trump, he wasn't really a true Republican. Like they say there's a difference between like MAGA Republicans and like other Republicans.
very true.
It'll be interesting to see how everything shakes out. But for the time being, Rishi Sunak is now the new prime minister, as Maddie said. And it's notable that, although controversial, he is the first non-white prime minister. But let's move on to a lighthearted topic. And let's get into the craze of adult Happy Meals. So McDonald's typically does a stunt every once in a while, usually once a year. The biggest one that comes to my mind outside of, like, you had the Travis Scott burger, you had the Szechuan sauce situation. They always capitalize on something. And this time they brought adult Happy Meals in for a limited time. It was supposed to go until the month of October, but they already sold out. And it seems like they're marketing off of nostalgia. And this isn't even going into how much the toys are being sold for or resold for as collector's items. So how do you guys think this has worked for McDonald's marketing wise, for the consumer, how much they're getting with these toys, and just thoughts all around?
I think it's definitely a really smart marketing choice. I mean, McDonald's, it's been working for them. They've been doing it for like the last few years, doing these big stuff. And obviously, like it's a limited time thing that makes it so like the toys become very like they're worth a lot, and people are already reselling them for really high prices, and they got sold out real quick. I remember the whole Szechuan sauce thing and the Travis Scott thing. That was like a movement. Everyone wanted a Travie Patty. And so I think it's definitely a good move on McDonald's. And I never got the adult Happy Meal, but I wonder did any of you guys get it?
I wanted it. I couldn't get it.
I did not get it.
What were you giving out? I'm curious.
But also, I'm not gonna lie, I'm on not the majority of thinking it's cool. I think it's kind of stupid. I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah, I'm dipping into this nostalgia. Like, yeah, getting a Happy Meal, but no. Like, it's kind of stupid. Like, yeah, it's cool to get like a toy, but like I remember like if I got a toy from a Happy Meal, I play it for like I don't know, a day at max, and then toss it away because like also like it's the same thing as a regular meal. So why am I paying an extra $2.60 for an adult Happy Meal? Like,
There's a toy.
yeah, like
No, 'cause,
I
like-
was gonna get one, I'd sell it on eBay.
I get what you mean. It's like one of those things where you'd like, it's cool from a business point of view for them, but like if you're gonna get it, like I would get it for like the one time. That's it. Like I wouldn't keep going back and be like, I'm getting an adult Happy Meal. Like, yeah, you can get like a Big Mac and like or 10-piece nuggets and fries and a drink. It's just like, I guess it's because it's like a thing that's like, oh, I can say I got it. But besides that, like I agree with you where it's like, yeah, there's no point.
That's what I'm saying too. Like if I want a Happy Meal, I'm just gonna get a kid's Happy Meal. Like
It was the fact that they were
You need my
promoting
apps.
it though as an
I
adult.
think it also has
Happy
something
Meal.
to do with, I think a kid's Happy Meal, it comes with like kid-sized portions, right? Like I don't think you can get a Big Mac
so
like burger on a normal Happy Meal. So that's why people aren't just getting normal Happy Meals. Is
Get a
they're
Big
getting
Mac on the side.
so like,
And it also has to go with the fact that they're capitalizing on, nostalgia.
I think we should just let people enjoy things. Like if people want to enjoy a Happy Meal, they can enjoy their Happy Meal, whether it's an adult or a kid's one. What like is more crazy to me about this and just like all the other trends that they've been doing is like the outrageous prices. Like if you bought the meal and you didn't have it like celeb associated, the price would be way less. Like if you actually get the things individually. So I feel like gone are the days where like you actually go to like any drive-through place and you actually get like a value. It's like I can get a sandwich from anywhere for like $10, like a burger from anywhere for $10. And now it's just like fast food is the same price. So that is crazy to me, whether there's a toy or not.
but also I'm paying $2.60 for a plastic. No, like sorry, it's a one-time thing. Like it's one and done. Like no, it's not. Like
Well, have you seen the fact that the toys are being resold on eBay for around
that's what I would do. Like, that's all I would
300,000?
ever do.
that's probably a big reason why people buy it. They know it's going to be worth
it's a
a lot.
trend. and
No
yeah,
one's
it's
buying it
something
for 300,000. I'm telling you that right now. No one is buying that.
Dude, who knows? People buy NFTs and like those art monkeys for $300,000. Like that could
that-
be
Oh,
worth
totally
a lot.
forget the art monkeys.
Price is a weird thing.
I do not like that whole philosophy.
Yeah.
And,
people-
like Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Hey, it's people buy it. It's not me. Like
People buy anything.
people still buy it. So
Amelia, you were saying something?
oh no, it's just like, yeah, people like, I totally agree. And like people buy anything, especially if they
I
think
don't
it's fair.
understand
Like
that.
people don't even like things genuinely anymore. People just buy them because they think other people like things. So it's just like
It's the cause of the
little
herd
post on
mentality.
Instagram or whatever.
The herd mentality. If everyone gets it, they're going to spend the extra $2.60 to go get it. No,
hey, maybe someone just wants a
You're
little
not kidding
toy
me.
with their
No.
meal.
I'm above their mind tricks.
Rob, I think you're very passionate, and I think Keith's
Thank you.
suggestion about your drive-through is a great idea for your intro segment for next show.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, let's move on to our final segment on that note. So, Elon Musk this month suggested on Twitter that the U.S. government should start footing the multi-million-dollar bill for the private Starlink service he initiated in Ukraine after Russia cut off the internet service. He then pulled back and said that the company would continue to cover the cost. So we are now entering a point where after the U.S. has privately funded space stations for so long, they are now surpassing the government. And they can basically be a geopolitical figure in their own right. So what do you guys think of Elon Musk stepping in with the whole Ukraine-Russia situation?
So I have a lot of feelings about this, but like in a lot of different ways. I think that it was great that he stepped in, but everybody was ready to be like, wow, what a great person when, he's a multi-million billionaire. Like it was, in my mind, the right thing to do for these poor people. However, I think like the minute you're just like, actually, no, I'm tired of this. Like it's no longer getting my 15 minutes of like, good job, you're being charitable. Like now somebody else has to pay for it. Like that's scummy because he is still a millionaire and it literally is not like, what is it to him? Truly. Now he wants like, and if the US paid for it, would that be like a business deal? Like, would he be making profit or does he just want them to pay base pay?
I think, well, it came down to he wanted the U.S. to start paying because they were spending over like $80 million on this whole Starlink service with the satellites above Ukraine, and they said, in a quote, "We are not in a position to further donate terminals to Ukraine or fund the existing terminals for an indefinite period of time." I think it came down to like a business thing where they were spending a lot of money, and I think he was like, "Shit, can the U.S. pay for some of this? Like, this is killing the company." But apparently, it's not. It's if he's still paying for it. But
if it's expensive for someone, it's going to be expensive for anyone. That's why I don't really understand. And again, Elon Musk is independently is like one of the most richest people in America. So I think it's silly. I think he just got sick of it. He did it for like to be like the good guy. And now that it's like, like Pete's, like this hype around Ukraine has gone down because people lose interest, which is sad.
I saw this and I agree with your point. He did it for the celebrity status. He's always been someone who's wanted the media's attention on him because it's just it's a money play. And also it's just the thing about him and like how he likes to be, on top of the media. That's the whole reason he did the Twitter thing. It's just because he wanted the attention. But also I read an article, a couple about this actually, because I genuinely confused, like, why would he want to question about paying for this when he has so much money. But honestly, it's a political power move. Like it's to get, not like in terms of politicals, in terms of like U.S. government and everything like that. It's in terms of politics, in terms of him giving himself a bigger platform and more like control, I guess. Like saying, if I control this, you have to respect me for this. And it's not just a celebrity thing. It's a it's a kind of like a blackmail, but it's not blackmail in terms of the fact that it's secret. It's just like in front of everyone.
It's almost like he's testing the waters to see what exactly he, as a billionaire who has this almost monopoly on technology, can do.
But I don't think he was like personally funding it, was he? It was SpaceX as a company.
Yeah.
Like this wasn't coming from out of his pocket. This money was coming from SpaceX. And like I think the problem was like it was making them go broke. Like it was a business thing.
Yeah, obviously he's gonna get a lot of attention from this, but like if he has a ton of money, and if he wants to fund this and he can, like obviously it's gonna bring him so much marketing and put his like name even more in the limelight. Like he has to see it through, and he can't like complain and like expect like the Pentagon to pay for it because he started the endeavor. So ultimately he's responsible for it.
I just looked it up, and Elon Musk is the #1 richest person in the world, at least as of 2021.
So he got the money.
In the world. I just want everyone to think about that. So for him to be like, I can't afford this anymore.
That's a lie.
Sure. Okay. Like you just don't want to. I'm just sick of these rich people, honestly. But also, yeah, I'm like, if SpaceX, if it's like a real business, like the organization can afford it, then he should be charitable and just personally fund it because he has more than enough.
Mm-hmm. Especially, it's worth noting that it's like it goes on record, and like the U.S. is like, Elon Musk is putting the satellites in Ukraine. We are not. Like they are removing themselves from the situation because they want to be neutral on this point.
His net worth is $219 billion.
That's a lot of adult Happy Meals.
You're telling me?
I wouldn't pay for it. Still would not pay for it. No, I would not.
Well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have today. As we hit.
Actually, Ryan, I hate to stop you there. I have one more thing that I was hoping we could talk about.
Go for it.
Yeah. Can we roll the clip, please? So what's happening in that clip, just to give you guys some context, is that Ted Cruz made an appearance on The View, and audience members basically started shouting at him during the live taping, and you heard what they said, and I don't think, these days, or maybe ever, Ted Cruz has a lot of fans. despite being in office. But I have a question for everyone. Is there a right way or a way that you think is too far to disagree with somebody in power? And is there a limit to what you should do to make a statement?
I think with like the situation of Ted Cruz, first off, the person filming that, they need some camera lessons. At least take a film class. Like stop.
You're buffering.
Like that hurts my eyes. But
Get to the
the
juice,
Texas situation. What?
Get to the juice. Let's go.
Sorry. I get distracted easily.
No filibustering.
Okay. For this, I'm kind of concerned over the fact that it's Ted Cruz, and I think it's a unique situation because he's been known to ignore a lot of these like situations. He kind of just goes on with his life. He's not one to ever give it attention. But also, I think this person decided to take the platform of The View and gather that attention. So it's a way to kind of expose him for ignoring all of it. Because as you saw in the video, he kind of just didn't say anything or acknowledge it. So I think it's just for this. But I don't know. I'm a little iffy on if it's too far because they're on a set. They're trying to just film a production, but also the person should be able to say their opinion.
I thought he handled it well, but people need to get their point across, and if they don't feel like they're being heard, they're going to do more and more to get their voices heard. So there's not really, it's like when you're passionate about something, you're going to do what you feel you should to get yourself known and heard and your points across. And it does make it worse when Ted Cruz ignores it and whatnot, because you just kind of feel offended by something you feel deeply rooted about. And you feel like the person in charge of helping with your issue disregards you. So to say there's maybe a limit on what you should do, I think it really depends on, as long as it's not, I guess, violent, anything goes.
I think when you first brought that question, my mind immediately went to drop the words in power and then think of the question again. Yes, there is a wrong way to argue something. There is a point of going too far. But at the same time, in situations like this, when someone is in power, people will do radical things to be heard. And as long as it's peaceful, and not harming someone, then, in my opinion, play ball.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I don't think that crossed the line. I mean, it's probably something I wouldn't do. I'd be a little bit more respectful about it, try to find a different way to protest and get my message out. But I don't think, as long as it's not a big deal and people aren't getting hurt, I think anything goes. That's not crossing the line in any way too much. But I think that was okay.
Honestly, that's a good point.
The outburst shown on the actual show,
they just bump the music and to hide it.
I think, the camera wasn't pointed towards them at least. They cut to commercial. I mean, I don't think in this case this was a wrong thing to do personally. I was just curious what you guys thought about it. I do think it's really important that we speak out against things that we feel are injustices and wrong. I personally would probably leave out, not to be prude, but I'd leave out the cussing. I always feel like if you're gonna cuss it, especially when your message, you lose a little bit of people don't take you as seriously.
It cancels out the good message you're trying to get across. Yeah. Once you start cursing, it makes you the villain.
Yeah, and I think also it depends on the issue, but I mean, I think this has really been. I know, I listen to the podcast Crime Junkies, and they always say this is the era of justice or the season of justice. And I would like to think so, that people are being more empowered to use their voices to speak up, with Black Lives Matter, with climate change, with everything. Another similar thing that's happening right now, obviously, is the Kanye West stuff, where he is basically awoken all the I always say this word wrong. Anti-Semitics, basically, in the world, and now they're acting out. And they were actually on an LA highway. Someone say something?
No, yeah, I saw that. They had banners up
Right. So it's like if we let things like that happen, then, you know, we're going down the same path and we're repeating history. So I think like it is important that we speak up, for me at least. And I do think that's kind of the age we're in where we need to be using our voices, especially if we're a person of privilege. You know, we need to defend those who cannot be defended.
Snaps. All right. On that note, it seems like that is how we'll cap our show today. Thank you so much, Amelia, for joining us.
Thanks for
And
having me.
Rob, Aiden, and Maddie. This will be fun moving forward in our new group. And this is 20 somethings signing off. Have a good
I'm
night.
not getting happy.